if we look at this graph, okay, we say that this is left skewed, okay? It's left skewed because the tail goes to the left. Okay, it's left skewed because the tail of the graph. So like this part right here. Okay, this part right here goes to the left. The tail goes to the left. Okay, so that means this one is right skewed. Because the tail goes to the right.
Middle skewed or something. Or it's just called two tails? Yeah. It's just two tails.
Now, the one in the middle, okay, we call that normal. Okay, it's a normal distribution. Okay, it has normal tails on the end. Everything comes in the middle. It's pretty normal.
Unlike
Unless you're boring.
Okay, so we have a histogram. Okay, a histogram is a graphical display. Okay, and it's a lot like, guys, we need to pay attention. We gotta move on. Okay, so a histogram is a lot like a bar chart, but a histogram uses ranges for x. Okay, it uses ranges for its x values. So it's going to look a little bit different when we graph these. Okay, if you look at prices, what ranges are being used for each section of the histogram? Okay, what's it going by? A range of what each time? A range of 5 each time. Okay, so first it goes from 60 to 65. Okay, we'll just say 5. First it goes from 60 to 65, then it goes from 65 to 70. Okay, so it's using ranges of 5. What is the frequency or count of black cherry trees that are between 70 and 75? Yes, so that's basically saying, okay, this goes up to 8. That's saying there are 8 trees that are between 70 and 75 feet tall. Track with me on that? What height range has the most trees? Yes, 75 to 80. They have 10. Okay, now, here's a little bit tricky. What's the shape of this distribution?
normal.
What do you think?
Left skew. Normal.
What do you think?
Left skew. I feel like it's more left.
That is more left.
It's more left, but it's kind of normal, but it's more left.
It's slight left, right? Because we have this tail here. So I would just say slight left.
Slight left skew now. Just normal.
Okay. What height range has the least trees?
85 to 90.
85 to 90. Whoops. How many trees are there?
2.
Yep.
Oh, that's part D.
Okay, so that's how we read a histogram. That's how it happens. Do you have any questions on that? Okay. Oh, these are too big. Okay, so this is an example of an OST question. Okay? It says a landscaper records the heights and feet of 15 newly planted trees in a community garden as shown. Complete the histogram by selecting the frequencies for the heights of the newly planted trees in the community garden. Okay, so here's what you're going to do. There's a range from 0 to 1 here. How many numbers are between 0 and 1? None of them. Okay, so we're not going to draw a bar there. What about between 1 and 2? Are there any numbers between 1 and 2?
No.
What about 2 and 3?
1, 2,
No, between 2 and 3. So it has to be like 2 point something. No. What about between 3 and 4?
Yes.
Yes. 3.2, 3.5,
3.1,
3.1, 3.7. So that's 4. So here's how you do that. Okay, you go up to 4 and draw your bar chart there. Mine's not going to be perfect. That's okay. Doesn't need to be perfect.
3 and 4.
Okay. Oh, did I move it? Did I put it in the wrong spot?
I wish I could do that. Yeah. Be like, oh, I messed it up. Let me just copy and paste it. Just erase it. Let me just move it again. Now let's just use my magical power. Oh, wow. Dang it, I put
Okay. So how many are between 4 and 5?
Wait.
4.3, 4.8, 4.9. 3 of them?
Yeah.
Okay. How many go from 5 to 6?
100.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Guys, that song is amazing. You should listen to it.
Okay. How many go from 6 to 7?
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, and 3. Okay. And then how many go from 7 to 8?
1.
1. All right. What's the shape of our distribution?
Right.
It's left. Okay. Do you see the tail? See that tail? It could. I mean, my drawing's not great. Okay, but that would be left.
Yeah. It was a good try.
Why?
Because of the tail. The tails. It's tough. But basically, like, if we would have had like boxes here, then it would have been normal. Like if they're kind of like symmetric on both sides, then it's normal. All right, box plots. Do you remember box plots?
Yes.
You hate them?
I just remember everyone got it.
Okay, box plots. Okay, a box plot involves that 5-number summary that we talked about yesterday. Okay, the first thing is the minimum. What comes next? Nope, Q1, Q2, Q3, then maximum. Okay, so take a look here. This is how you draw it. Okay, the first thing you do is you put a line at quartile 1, quartile 3, and quartile 2. And that's what makes your box. Okay, then you plot your max and your minimum. Okay. So, I got stuff to do. Okay, so let's go ahead. Is that what comes next? No, we need their numbers, don't we? Okay, here we go. Okay, now you can use Desmos for this. We're just going to do it by hand quick. Okay, what's our minimum?
2.
What's our max?
57.
52. Okay, what's our median or our quartile 2?
7.
It's between, oh, they're not in order. You're right. Put them in order.
7 is quartile 2.
There we go. All right, halfway between 6 and 8?
7.
All right. What's Q1?
4.
Halfway between 3 and 5. And then halfway between 9 and 20.
14.5.
14.5.
Get there. Can I get it?
Okay, that's just skills from yesterday. That's why I breezed through that.
You like my dad?
Okay. Now we have to find all of our data. Go ahead and find your IQR. I think you guys already know how to do these. Go ahead and do these.
What's Q1? IQ. It's not video.
Hey, what did you get for your IQR?
10.5.
Yep. 10.5. Okay, did you find a lower boundary?
Hold on.
You working on it?
Negative 11.75. That could be wrong, but you know what? I tried. That's all that matters.
Okay, you should get negative 11.75. Do we have a number lower than that?
No.
No. Okay, so there are no data points lower than that. There's no lower outlier. Okay, for your upper boundary. Okay, you should get 30.25. Do we have a number bigger than 30.25? We do. Yes. Okay. We have 52. 52 is an outlier. That's important for a box plot. Okay? Very important for a box plot. Okay. Questions so far? I'm going to show you how to make the box plot. Questions before we do that? Okay. So here's how you go about that. We have our steps here, okay, and that's how I'm going to go about it. Okay, so it says label your scale. It's already done for you. Put a vertical line at Q1, Q2, and Q3. Okay, so Q1 was
4.
Yes, 4. Okay, so roughly where 4 is at. Okay, Q2 is 7. And Q3 is 14.5, almost to 15. And then you're going to make a box using those lines.
Oh. Okay. And then you have to make it straight. I didn't know this knows
Okay, so now you have Q1, Q2, Q3. All right, your next step is to mark any outliers with a star. What was our outlier?
52.
52. So you're going to put a star over here where 52 would be. Okay. Now you have to make your whiskers. Okay. Those come from your max and your min. Okay. But what was our maximum of our data? 52. We cannot use 52 because it's an outlier. So you go to the next largest number, which was 20. Okay? So you're going to put your whisker at 20.
Like why?
Because 52 is an outlier. Yeah. Okay? Then you plot your minimum, which was 2. Okay, now, does anybody know what kind of right skew? It's right skew.
I don't like race.
I know, it's kind of opposite of how you would think.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It's kind of opposite.
I like your method. Just
Okay, so let's go ahead and do the next one. Okay, do you want to use Desmos to get those numbers?
No.
Remember,
They're already in order. It should be easy.
they're in order.
They are in order. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make it easy. Since we're slow on time, I'll go ahead and give you the numbers. Okay, minimum is 5. Q1 is 10.5. 16.5 for Q2. 31 for Q3. Max is 50. Okay, how do we find IQR? 31 minus 10.5 is 20.5. Okay, I want you to find the lower boundary and the upper boundary. Do that right now. Okay, you should get negative 20.5 and 61.75. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so do we have a number lower than negative 20.5? No, we do not. Okay, do we have a number bigger than 61.75? No. Okay, so no outliers. We can do our box and whisker plot like normal. What's the first thing that I plot?
Oh, your
Q1, Q2, Q3. So Q1 is 10.5.
Is it okay if you do it
16.
on the
However you want to do it. I just think it gets confusing to look at. That's why I do it this way.
Kiwi. Kiwi's not mean. Kiwi's just kiwi.
Why are you defending him, Audrey? Remember when he called you?
Okay, so you should get your box. Make sure it looks like mine. How do we make the whiskers? Max and min. We don't have any outliers, so we're okay. Our minimum is 5. Our max is 50. Okay, tell me the shape. Right skew. Because if we look at Q2, okay, the bigger section tells you what skew it is. Okay, so right here it's right skewed.
You pretty much look at the spot that's bigger.
Okay, go ahead and do the putting it all together by yourself. Okay, do that part by yourself. It's basically just what we did yesterday and today.
There's no homework if we don't finish.
Well, I mean, yeah, you have like 2 minutes. So. Okay, here's what's going to happen tomorrow. I will not be here. Okay, I have a conference on tomorrow and Monday, so I'll be here tomorrow and Monday. Okay, so I will have this answer key posted on Canvas for you of the putting it all together. Okay, and for tomorrow, your practice, there is a video. Miss Eldridge is one of our other teachers. We talked about her yesterday with the baking. She made a video of how to do the step-by-step on how to do the practice tomorrow. So if you have an issue with one of the questions, you can go on and watch that video on Canvas. I'll post that for you. Okay? She's awesome.
I was crying. I hate this. I like that. I saw you this morning, and my mom was like,
No, I don't think I don't.
and my mom said, Mr. Hardcover. I gave you a phone What? Why was you?
Because my old name means
I never said it was weird.
excuse me, old name before.
Have a wonderful day.